The volcanic isthmus of Costa Rica rose from the ocean 30 million years ago, joining North and South America and creating one of the densest and most diverse ecosystems on the planet. Costa Rica contains 7% of the Earth's biodiversity, including 810 species of birds and 4 species of monkeys. Costa Rica is one of the 22 oldest democracies and has been consistently ranked in the top 10 most environmentally sustainable nations. One factor that may have enabled Costa Rica to focus on sustainability and environmental protection: Costa Rica does not have an army.
Costa Rica is the leader in sustainability in the world. I don't think you have to persuade anybody to come to Costa Rica. Its image is quite pronounced around the world. It's a country that has the greatest biodiversity per square kilometer in the world. It has the most species of birds, butterflies. It has 9 different climates. It has a population with an incredibly high literacy rate of about 97 or 98%. It's the 4th largest exporter of information in the world. It has no army. All of these things are what leads to a consciousness about sustainability.
Sustainability is making decisions that take environmental, economic, and social issues into consideration. A sustainable economy is one that can succeed without depleting natural resources, polluting environments, or compromising social conditions. Using renewable resources, avoiding pesticides, and making sure that workers are given a living wage that doesn't require migrations to cities and the collapse of social structures are 3 decisions that organizations can make to become more sustainable.
The attraction of bringing student groups to Selva Bananito Lodge and Selva Bananito Reserve is educational aspects together with adventure stuff, being out in the forest, rappelling down a waterfall, taking a natural history hike, going on a horseback tour. We'll have biologists guide you, we'll have taxonomists give you a presentation at night. We'll cover different topics such as climate change and conservation aspects, problems, challenges, obstacles. We'll talk about sustainability, about ecotourism. And in a way, since the students stay longer at Selva Bananito Lodge than our individual travelers, there's an opportunity to make this even more sustainable because we have time to plant the trees that will offset your carbon emissions. We take more initiatives with students in order to be sustainable because of spending longer days in Costa Rica. So really, by bringing students here, it's almost a zero emissions carbon neutral trip actually that we can do since we manage the whole group and the whole stay and not just part of it.
The nice thing about Selva Bananito and Conservator and Jürgenstein and the work he's been doing down here is he's figured out a way to provide college students and me with a real adventure in a really remote location in the middle of the jungle.
You can actually see things firsthand and how things affect people and just something you can't experience through a TV screen or something like that.
At Selva Bananito Lodge we have been taking many actions in order to be sustainable and eco-friendly since the year 1995. To name a few, the lodge was built with waste wood from logging activity that we rescued and salvaged. And this way we avoided about 80 hectares, or about 150 acres of primary rainforest by using waste wood from logging activity. We introduced a system to treat our used water with decomposition bacteria and enzymes into different pools with water lilies or water hyacinths that absorb and treat the wastewater. They have panels for solar heated water. We do recycling when there was almost no companies that would receive your recycling. We compost. About half of our roofing comes from recycled plastic bags from waste from banana plantations. They're built to look like colonial style roofing. And very recently we introduced solar power LED lamps in some of our rooms and also in the rancho. We have these things in different stages of decomposition. Okay? That's the fresh stuff, all the vegetable stuff and everything that we put in here starts decomposing. Okay? We add leaves, we add some coarse manure, and it has to be aired. And the end product, which is then the one when it's ready to use, there's absolutely no smell. This is perfectly very fertile, obviously. the eggshells will finish off decomposing when you place it out in the field or in the garden, you know?
You can learn a lot about biodiversity and about birds and howler monkeys and all the amazing things that we can see in the jungle. But it's different actually being here and trying to appreciate what it's like to try to live in a sustainable way just for 5 days in the middle of the jungle, to not use electricity, and to travel all over this property on horseback. We're definitely on the road less traveled. We are in the middle of the jungle.
So in here you have clay. The problem with clay is that the particle is extremely small. So clay has this ability to absorb a lot of water. It will not let water pass further down. It keeps the water, so for plants it's very hard to take it away from clay. And when it finally dries, it changes the volume. So these lands pretty much breathe with the rain. Terrible soil for agriculture, for everything, pretty much. Only good for forests. If you sum up all of the components that make your operation, in this case tourism operation, every step has somehow involved in carbon emissions through the burning of fossil fuels, bringing the tourists in. Flight emissions. This is about 90% of all the emissions produced during any visit in any country in the world. And in our company, we take this into account. Now we are taking responsibility for these emissions. So we're trying to make this program, maybe Jürgen talked about, is the BCC. It's Viajeros con Conciencia Climática, means climate conscious traveler. So it's a way to distribute this cost of offsetting the emissions through the entire chain. Travel agencies, hotels, and the client. And airline operators as well. I mean, any human activity has a carbon footprint. It's the way our economy is structured. So by reforesting with native species, we can capture these emissions and fix them in the wood, and maybe then use the wood for something else, hopefully sustainable as well. And this is the way we do it, at least.
Climbing it with ropes and getting a better view of the canopy up top. You know, it's the top tier of the rainforest, where all the birds are and monkeys are, and you know, it's really beautiful to see the top of trees.
I'm not sure there's any one thing that it teaches every student, but it puts the student into a relationship with the tree, and this is probably a more intimate experience with the tree than they've had in the last 15 years. This tree was here 2 years ago. This tree will be here when I'm dead.
It's just important to learn about the canopy because people are cutting it down. Like, they're cutting down the forests, and they hold a lot of species, and they're important for the environment.
We try to tag each turtle, and that allows us to individually identify the turtles and track them. They're found in other parts of the world, and we patrol every night, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and 12 o'clock, and then we have a census in the morning where we count all the tracks. Here to protect against poachers, we will erase all the tracks to the highest degree possible, which you guys are going to do tonight.
The Endangered Wildlife Trust purchased 1,000 hectares of land in northern Limon to help preserve the leatherback turtle. Students and researchers work to patrol the beaches and keep poachers from stealing the turtle eggs. They also collect data on how many turtles arrive each year and how many eggs they lay on the beach.
When you're working with a turtle, especially when you want to relocate the nest, so to take the eggs, you have to be very careful with the tail.
They mark each of the nests and wait for the little turtles to hatch. If the turtles haven't made it out by the next dawn on the expected day, the researchers will dig up the nests and hold the little turtles until sunset. They are released when the sand is cool enough for them to make their journey into the sea. The leatherback is the most critically endangered sea turtle. Leatherbacks can be up to 6 feet long. The leatherback species is believed to be 100 million years old, older than Costa Rica.
Nothing can be sustainable unless it's related to the culture. Cacao has been grown here for about 3,000 or 3,500 years. When we discovered that cacao had been abandoned and that this would be an alternative for people to make a livelihood, not only from producing cacao beans and selling them at market prices, but to give the added value here and to produce a chocolate that would be the same quality as European chocolate, then we decided to get into this.
What we try to do with this is to plant a seed to hopefully touch some of these students so they become more sensible to issues that are affecting the world and all of us on the planet as a whole.